Hi everyone! What is good? This is SilverHyena. Welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, I thought I would share with you some tips on blending with brush markers. These are the Ohuhu brand brush markers, which those of you who have seen some of my previous videos know that I am particularly partial to. Honestly, I love these markers. I cannot say enough nice things about them. I will have some links in the description below. Anyways, let's get to some blending. Now, with blending with brush markers, usually I like to go lighter to darker myself, but this is just a personal preference. This is just a practice sheet that I had gotten out before doing an actual illustration, and it is a very good idea to always test your blends on a separate piece of paper before bringing a marker anywhere near your actual illustration. Okay, I'm not quite sure if that's working quite how I thought it would, but like you see, this is why we test things out. Like this one might have been a bit too dark, but we'll see how it looks in the end. Let's try this light blue first. Now, me personally, I generally find usually anywhere from 3 to as many as 6 colors. Although usually I end up with kind of an average of 4. But you've really gotta work on building up those layers. That's the key. You gotta build up those layers. And like you see, now that this one has dried, I actually like that. I actually like that color a lot. I actually really like the way that turned out. And there goes my neighbor's dog barking. That's all that dog does is bark, 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 bark. Alright, that gray might be so light it's not really even showing up much on camera. I don't know, I could be dead wrong. I could find out the exact opposite when I go to edit this video. I actually kind of like that purple in there for the really dark darks. Now what I usually do is I start with the lightest and then just kind of graduate from there to the mid-tone or like secondary lightest, mid-tone, and then I do the dark very last. And then I'd go over the whole thing again with the lightest tone. So you will be kind of going through your lightest toned markers first. However, it does create a beautiful, beautiful blend. Here, let's try another one. No. Here, I'll use these ones. I haven't used these ones yet. Let's try to make a gradient. Those are always fun. Gradients are fun. Okay, so this blue is kind of dark. I'm beginning to wonder, what was I thinking when I initially picked out all these colors? There we go. It's blending into there a bit. Okay, I got a little bit sloppy on the edge there, but there we go. There's basic gradient. Here, I'm gonna grab 3 colors that are more similar. Now then, I'm probably not gonna be using these colors on the actual illustration, but I just wanted to show you guys a standard color gradient. Like these ones, while the colors can mix and blend together, I want to use, for example, all kind of yellowish green and see how it goes. And please remember that this is just how I like to do things. This is not the only way you are supposed to blend with brush markers. There is no other way. No. This is just my way of doing things. The important thing is to find out what works best for you. I know I tried out a bunch of different ways before I finally found what worked best for me. Okay, so there we are. Now we need to go over it again. Pull all of those colors into there. If that makes sense. You know. There we go. That's looking pretty nice overall. I just love the sound of these markers on the paper. Just listen. So satisfying. A little bit of ASMR. Blend that out just a little bit more. There we are. The lightest. Alright. There you've got a couple variations on your basic gradients. But of course, while this is fine and all, sometimes you need to have something else to utilize it with. So, I have this little something I drew up in advance just for the occasion. So I'm still going to keep this beside me because I am always testing marker patterns, variations, etc. Because, trust me, when working with any medium, you always want some scratch paper with you. Before these even touch this, you want to test out your combos on the scratch paper. Trust me, I've made the mistake of not doing that before and nearly ruining pieces. Now, this line art piece that I have to be our test subject, as it were, this is Prismacolor color erase pencils with Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens, these, over the top. Now you can ink any way you like. You can even ink on the computer. If you can ink freehand, go for it. Regular pencil and erase, fine. Just whatever line art you decide to use, just do it however you're comfortable doing it. That's all I gotta say on that subject. However, I personally really enjoy the way the colored pencil will kind of meld into everything. Trust me, if you haven't used Prismacolor color erase pencils, give them a shot. You'll probably enjoy them as much as I do. At least I hope so. Those are so far the only Prismacolors that haven't been driving me up the wall lately, I'll say. Anyways, time to actually get started. So I really like this light sky blue to start. And I've already tested it out, so I feel safe doing this. And usually while I'm working on a piece, I like to use all of one color and then go back over it with another color. Now then some people, they'll like say just do the head portion and then shade from there. I've always been more of a use one color, otherwise I'll forget a spot, if that makes sense. But again, you gotta do what works for you. I cannot stress that enough. There is no one only right way to blend with colored. No, we're doing markers now, not the colored pencils. We're doing markers, brush markers in particular. I've been busy lately. I'm getting all my supplies mixed up. I do apologize for the length of these videos. Truth be told, while filming, I wasn't even aware of the grand scope of things until I began the editing process. Then I was just like, OMG, it was that long? However, I really wanted to give you, my viewers, a genuine glimpse into what goes on during the creation of my videos. Plus, showing you guys more of the real-time process as opposed to just speeding up the entire freaking thing will hopefully make it easier for you guys to follow along. This is why a lot of my art videos get sped up, because it is a very time-consuming process. Not that there is anything wrong with that, it is what it is. And as we all know, rushing through your artwork to make it fast, usually if you rush something, it looks rushed. So please, take your time. I'd like to know, would you like to see more tutorials in real time? Or just my artistic process in real time? Please post below, your feedback really helps. Alright, now that that first base layer is down, then you want to go in with your secondary color. This is the second lightest color. And go in and fill in where you want the shadows to be. Overall, I find the process to be rather simple. I don't know why, I've always found it to be pretty simple, at least the base process. I think that the hardest part is just determining where the light and shadow is coming from, which is still something that I am trying to work on and perfect. But now that you've got another color, now you can start adding some texture and tone. There we go. Just using some very, very short, precise controlled strokes, which is what's wonderful about brush pens and why they have quickly become one of my favorite mediums. I just love the effects you can get with them. I love how they blend into each other. I just love it. Seriously, brush markers are one of the most delightful and fun mediums to use. I am so happy that I discovered them. I'm so happy that I decided to get some. And if you're still on the fence about whether or not you should get some of these markers, if anything else, just get a smaller set and try them out. Seriously, you will not regret it. Alright, so we've got the second layer going, and as you can see, it's starting to look a little bit more complete, but it's still not there yet, if that makes sense. If there makes sense. So I thought I would show you some of the longer strokes, since I've been doing mostly up at the face for you guys. But just want to keep the, it's a little bit harder to get into the tight areas, but you just want to keep your strokes, just keep it easy. You don't want to rush it. Don't want to overwork it. Oh, I had also forgotten to mention earlier, the type of paper I am using is the Strathmore 400 series marker paper. This paper is really thick. It seems like marker paper comes in two styles. thinner than tissue paper or thicker than I am. That's how they come. Just gotta keep working it. The wonderful thing about brush pens is that lovely kind of, I want to say, feathery stroke you get with them. I just love it. Also, this is, like, I haven't really done a whole lot of how-tos and tutorials. I am still very, very new to doing that, and even just making videos in general. So any feedback you guys have is much appreciated, because I want to get better. I want to improve. I want to help you guys improve. The thing is that usually I just go out and do it. I'm not used to slowing down and making sure that other people are watching me and keeping up. Usually I just do it without thinking. And believe it or not, sometimes I have a very hard time talking while working because I just get so focused. So sometimes if I go really, really quiet during these, I apologize, but that's me entering a focused phase, if that makes sense. There we go. He's really coming together. But yeah, any feedback is much appreciated. And if this video helps you, I would love to know if what I'm doing is helping you guys. What improvements I can make, etc. Of course, just leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel would make me very, very, very happy. So please remember to do that. Like and subscribe. Every single little like and subscribe, and especially sharing, showing it to your family, friends, etc. That all helps me out immensely. You have no idea. Well, actually you do, because I just told you. There you go. Just try to use just the very tippy tip for a lot of those little short but fine fur effects, if that makes sense. As you can see, even after just 3 layers, it is really coming together. That's what I love about these pens so much, is just how nice and cleanly it all comes together. So now it is time to add the 4th layer, but not the final. Because I usually find that after you go with your darkest dark, I like to go over it with the lightest light again, if that makes sense. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky keeping that fine point really, really fine, because these tips are, I mean, like, they're moderately flexible. They're not like floppy, if that makes sense, but they can definitely flex. And they definitely take some getting used to if you've been used to bullet tips, or I mean, like, if you're more into pencils usually. But the flexibility of these tips it's a learning curve. I'm not gonna lie, it is a learning curve. But I am so glad that I had picked up brush markers and started using them, because they have, I think it might even be safe to say that brush markers right now are my current favorite medium. I feel safe saying that, actually. Post in the comments, as of right now, what is your favorite medium to use? Is it a common medium, or is it one that's a bit more obscure? If I had to pick another favorite medium that is more recent to me, I'd have to go watercolors. I love watercolors. Those are a lot of fun to use as well. There we go. I love it when a piece starts to come together. Okay, so here we are at 4 layers. It's looking pretty good so far, but now this was the first color we used, the sky blue. Now I'm just gonna go over the whole piece again, because this will really help pull everything together. It's going on a little bit dark, but it tends to, it dries a little bit lighter than it goes on usually, kind of like acrylics. Of course, if it ends up being a bit too dark, you can always go over all of the colors again. Nothing wrong with that. Just love the sound of marker on paper. It's very satisfying. I might have mentioned that earlier in this video. I don't remember at this point. But there is something oddly comforting about it. Just listen. I love it. Okay, so this video began to get so long that I actually had to break it into 2 parts. I will have a link to part 2 in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Also, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Right about now, if you want to help me out, that is the best way to do so. Also be sure to check out my Redbubble shop. Link is also available in the description below. See you all at part 2. Stay creative, everybody. Bye for now.